We're flying a Cessna 172 out of Auburn, Washington. That is S50. I am just starting the before engine checklist. So let's see. Avionics switch. Bus 1 and 2 should be on. Before the master battery. Okay, let's do before starting engine checklist. Okay, aircraft documents, check. We'll tick that. Parking brake is set. Tick that. Ignition is set to off. Check. Avionics are off. You can see that here, and I can see it on my yoke. So we'll check that. Battery switch is off. Fuel quantity indicators. Let's check those out. So these will only work after turning on, I believe only after turning on the batteries. Oh, so battery switch is supposed to be on. Okay. So we're turning on the master battery. This doesn't have exactly the same configuration as the aircraft that I really fly. But it looks like we're not getting fuel quantity. Maybe we need avionics on for that. Okay. Let's see. What do we need for this one? Fuel level R. Low fuel, left and right, Enunciators to off. Okay. I do not have that in my aircraft, and I am not sure how to do that in this checklist at the moment. So I'm just going to check that. Okay, avionics, bus 1 and 2 on. Okay. Those are now on. Avionics cooling fan is audible. I believe that's the noise we're hearing in the background. Okay. Okay, avionics bus 1 and 2 off. Okay, static pressure alt source valve should be off. Okay, that is off. Enunciator panel test. So how do we test that? I think that is over here somewhere. This is not part of the checklist for my aircraft, and again, I'm not familiar with how to do a test of that. So I'm going to skip that item, since my flight instructor would ordinarily give me some instruction on any checklist items that I'm not familiar with. Okay. Fuel selector is both. All right. Fuel shutoff valve is open. Fuel shutoff valve. That's the fuel pump, which I think should not be on yet. Fuel shutoff valve. Is that separate from the fuel pump? Fuel shutoff valve. This is again different from the checklist of my actual aircraft. Let me see if I have a copy of it here. Yeah. Okay. Fuel shutoff valve should be both. Huh. I don't have a copy of the exact checklist for my real aircraft with me at the moment, unfortunately. So I'm going to assume that the simulator put us into a configuration where we can start our engines. Okay. Since the mains are on, we should be able to put our flaps down. And let's see if that works here. You can see out, I think, the left side a little bit better. Not getting flaps retraction. That's... So with the battery and the mains on, we should be able to extend and retract flaps, but I'll try that again when the engine is on. Pitot heat on, check it working. Normally we would do this by feeling it. So let's do pitot heat. I actually have on my... I'm gonna assume that's working because I set the aircraft not to have any faults. Okay. We check that it's working. We set aside the aircraft. We hold to get warm. All right, pitot heat is off. Okay, battery switch is off. Elevator trim to neutral. Elevator trim is neutral. All right, we have completed the before starting engine checklist. Okay, let's move to starting the engine checklist. Pre-flight inspection is complete. All right, let us, passengers and pilots, please fasten your seatbelts. Our electrical equipment is off. Our avionics is off. Our fuel selector is both. Our fuel shutoff valve is open. I'm assuming, I don't know where it is in this cockpit. Okay, starting engine checklist. Throttle open to 1/4 inch. Okay. Let's see. Alright, that seems good. Mixture is idle cutoff. Okay. So that's just like a little bit in, I guess. I'm not seeing the mixture move. Looks like there's a dead spot on my lever panel or something. Okay, a little bit in. Okay, so throttle, mixture, propeller area is clear. I don't have a way to get this guy out of the area, but he's not there in real life in Auburn, so I'd be yelling out the windows here, starting propellers before I get ready to start the engines. Aside from getting this guy out of the way, who wouldn't be here in Auburn, this is not a major airport. Okay, battery switch is turning on the mains. Okay, let's see if our so I already have our beacons are on, so battery switch is on, beacons are on. Mixture goes to rich. Okay, mixture is at rich. And I know in the real aircraft it shouldn't be like all the way in, but put it here. Okay, auxiliary fuel pump. Okay, again, not something my aircraft has. So here's the fuel pump. I don't know where the auxiliary fuel pump is on this aircraft, so I may skip that. Does this test the Enunciator? Oh, Enunciator lights. Maybe this is what they wanted me to test earlier. Okay. Anyway, mixture rich. I don't know how to test that. Okay, mixture back to lean. Okay. Mixture is at lean. Feet ready to brake. Okay. Let's get in a comfortable spot here for our rudder pedals. Move these a little bit on the ground. It's comfortable in the aircraft, not so much in this simulator setup I have here. Okay. Alright. Alright, ready to brake. So we still have our parking brake on. Okay, feet are ready to brake. Alright, ignition. Start. Okay. See, what am I doing wrong here? Did I turn off the fuel pump? I did. Ignition's in the start position. What am I doing wrong here? And why is the avionics not coming on? That should be adequately powered by the battery. Let's restart this flight. I think I may have screwed something up earlier in the video. Alright, this is Zypher is flying out of Auburn Municipal Airport, S50 and a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. I've chosen to fly... Ooh, what is going on here? Low fuel pressure, low oil pressure indicator lights. Alright. I do not know. Okay. Alright. Alright, looks like we have... Alright, let's go through our checklist here. Pre-flight inspection, cockpit. Okay, aircraft documents. Check. Parking brake. That is now set. I'm going to hide the yoke. Ignition set to off. And it sounds like batteries are on or something that shouldn't be on. Ignition is off, avionics are off, battery switch to on, fuel quantity check. Alright, we got fuel quantity is showing. Excellent, excellent, okay. Fuel quantity indicators check. Low fuel level, left and right enunciators. I don't know how to, that's not part of my aircraft, and I do not know how to test that. It seems to be probably somewhere up here. Okay, that I think is the test that was needed, I'm gonna guess. Oh, wait, if they're enunciators, so the fuel quantity, yeah, they're not making. We're not getting enunciators at low fuel levels. Okay, avionics switch, bus 1 and 2. How is the avionics on when I did not? So this is out of sync with my control panel here. So I'm gonna turn on the avionics. All right, avionics is on. Cooling fan is audible. Okay. And now avionics goes back off. All right. Static pressure source valve, which I've located. This is not on my aircraft, but I believe this is the I believe this is what it's referring to. But in real life, my flight instructor would tell me if. So again, not familiar with it, not on my checklist. Okay, Enunciator panel test. So again, I don't have this on my aircraft. I don't know how to test it. If anyone in chat knows how to test the Enunciator panel, see, how do we get to bright? Okay. How do we do an Enunciator panel test? Any advice? Appreciated. This is Cessna 172, not the G1000 model. I'm going to pass on this because it's not part of the aircraft that I'm actually flying. Fuel selector is both. Fuel shutoff valve is open. So fuel shutoff valve is open, which I believe means off. Flaps down. I'm hearing the flaps, but not seeing the. Oh, there we go. Okay, they went all the way down. Okay, I think that's. Let's see. Yeah, that's the flaps. For takeoff is 10 degrees. Let's see. Oh, I guess I got them above 10 degrees. That's weird. Okay. All right. Flaps. Anyway, flaps work. Pitot heat. Normally we get outside the aircraft and check this in person. So pitot heat is on. We are going to assume that it's warming up. Pitot heat back off. Battery switch goes off. Check elevator trim. It is neutral. And that's this checklist. Okay, before starting engine, checklist. Pre-flight inspection is complete. Seatbelts. Passengers, please fasten your seatbelts. Electrical equipment is all off. All right, avionics, bus 1 and 2 are off. Fuel selector is both. Fuel shutoff valve is open, which I believe means off. Okay, starting engine. Throttle open to 1/4 inch. That seems like 1/4 of an inch maybe. Okay. Mixture should be at our idle cutoff. So I'll just move this until I see, move my thrust lever until I see visible movement in the cockpit. Okay. Now I'll shout out clear propellers. All right. All right, battery switch to on. And we have our beacon on. Mixture is rich. And I guess in the real aircraft that would be about here. The aircraft I fly does not have a fuel pump, an auxiliary fuel pump, or main fuel pump, so I'm going to skip that. Mixture back to lean. I guess that has to do with the fuel pump. Feet are ready to brake, and now we are ready to start ignition. Starting props. The fuel pump is not on. Okay. We'll tune S50 traffic. Okay, we've started the ignition. And rich when engine starts. Okay. So what does that indicate? That sound does not happen in my aircraft after starting engine. Okay. Adjust to 1000 RPM. So let's get down to 1000 RPM. Oop. And I cut our engine. All right. What am I doing wrong here? Oh. Not lean enough on the mixture. Okay. Or rich enough on the mixture. Okay. So let's see if we can get down to throttle to 1000 RPM. That is also not part of the procedures of the airplane that I fly. I'm not even sure if I can get the throttle down to 1000 RPM. So I'm gonna skip that. Oil pressure, let's see where that is. So this is not the same cockpit layout that I'm used to. Okay, oil pressure, it looks a little bit low. Is there an oil pump that needs to be active in this aircraft? Again, this is not the same, exactly the same model as my real aircraft. But there wasn't an oil pump in the checklist, so well, oil pressure seems a little bit low here. Outside the green zone. And it looks like we're drawing on the battery here. Let me just get a little bit more RPMs. If I'm understanding what that indicator means here. So the alternator is not... Okay. The alternator is on. Okay. Oh, I see. I had left the ignition in the start location. Okay. Amps look good. Alternator. I don't know where the readout is for the alternator on this. This is, again, not part of the checklist for my aircraft. Alternator. Where would I see that? I think the amperage here just indicates that our alternator is working. Alternator indicator is off. Okay. Is there an alternator indicator that I would see and is off? I don't think so. Again, this is something I would ask my flight instructor, not part of the checklist I'm used to. Ammeter, don't know how to check that, not part of my checklist that I'm familiar with. Avionics switch, bus 1 and 2 are going on. Now, how is the avionics on? Oh, this is in. I didn't I didn't turn these in. Okay. The game must be providing me assistance that I don't want. Anyway. Okay, radios are on. I can tune to Seattle, and I successfully tuned to Seattle's ATIS and heard their weather information, so I know the radios are working in this aircraft. Transponder to standby. Okay. Transponder to standby. This is not part of the checklist in my aircraft. So I'm just gonna mark that complete. Flaps up. Okay. Check the heading indicator here. So almost okay. So looks like we may have, okay, no, so the heading indicator looks good here. Almost matches up with our magnetic compass, so I'm gonna count that as set. Altimeter. This looks correct. Attitude indicator. Where is my attitude indicator? I think that's here. Okay, that is set. All right, we are ready to taxi. And we will announce taxi. Let's see, I think I have a radio button. Do I have a radio button? Nope. Let's see. Auburn traffic. Sierra Alpha, Sierra X-Ray Golf, Sierra taxiing for southbound departure. Auburn traffic. Or is it supposed to be my call sign? Should be my call sign, I think. But I'll also do in-game.
Sierra 50 traffic, Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 16.
Okay. Alright. Auburn traffic, Sierra Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 16. Taxi light as required, landing light as required. Strobe is on. Navigation lights are on. Parking brake release. And I'm going to go ahead and apply brakes manually. Brakes test. So let's. I guess this should probably give us some forward momentum. Well, I guess it's not quite high enough RPM for forward momentum yet. Unless I've paused the simulator by accident, in which case I'm gonna okay, brakes are working. The rudder, I guess I cannot see from here. I could see it in the physical aircraft, but since I know that in the simulator I've set this aircraft to not have any physical malfunctions spontaneously, so that is correct. The turn coordinator, I do not know how to check that this is working on the ground. That's not part of the checklist of my aircraft. Heading indicator, check working. We'll have to do that during taxi. And compass check working. Again, don't know. That's not part of the checklist of my aircraft. We can see that these are working while we taxi, I suppose. Let's see, I'm not super familiar with this part of the airport, where we are.
Sierra 50 traffic generic November tree 7 Papa Bravo 1 3 miles south inbound visual runway tree 4. Sierra 50 traffic generic November tree 7 Papa Bravo is on final runway tree 4 to land.
Okay, I think we're at the end of the hangars here. So I need to actually turn right to get to the... Yeah, that looks right. Okay. Oh, am I catching my wings on stuff? Shit. Yeah, we caught our wing on something. Okay. Normally we would just drag our aircraft out to the, Alright, I'm gonna pass the, checklist here, since we just did that, and we know we have a working aircraft due to the simulator. So, okay. Alright. Okay. Master's on, avionics on, starting engine. Okay. Auburn traffic, Sierra Alpha, Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra, taxiing to runway 16 for southbound departure.
Sierra 50 traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 16.
This guy doesn't get clipped on my wing. You need to move away, buddy. This guy's would not be here in the real airport.
Sierra 50 traffic generic November tree 7 Papa Bravo 8 miles south inbound visual runway tree 4.
This is not what my real aircraft... Okay. Let's see if I can pull this guy around somehow. Without crashing into the wall. Alright. How about that, Jordan? I did the same maneuver I saw you do. Am I clipping my wing on this hanger? I think I am. Shit. Yep, I am. Or maybe not. Okay. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Alright, this is Zypher is flying a Cessna 172 Skyhawk out of Auburn. That is S50. Ooh, that is a little bit premature. So I have already done the pre-flight checklists in this aircraft to save time. They're a little bit different from the aircraft that I fly in person. So let's go ahead and get this guy started. What's going on with my engines here? Okay. Alright. Let's taxi and get on out of here. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna record and send a video to my instructor, so I'm gonna restart this flight. Alright, this is Zypherus getting ready to fly out of Auburn Municipal Airport. That is S50 and a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. Alright, let's start with our checklist here. Okay, pre-flight inspection of the cockpit. Aircraft documents, check. Parking brake. Let's hide the yoke here. So I have a physical yoke. Parking brake is set. Ignition is off. Avionics off. Battery switch on. Fuel quantity indicators are showing fuel. Alright. That's a check. Low fuel, I gotta expand this a little bit maybe and move this down here. Fuel quantity indicators, alright. Low fuel enunciators. Now I'm not sure if this is the test. This is not part of the aircraft that I fly, but that's testing that at least those lights show up. I'm not sure if those count as enunciators. I'm a novice pilot here, and this is not part of the checklist for the aircraft I fly. So my instructor would be correcting me if I was not doing this correctly. All right, avionics switch, bus 1 and 2 on. Okay, they are on. Cooling fan is audible. I can hear it. All right. Avionics bus 1 and 2 off. Okay, static pressure alt source valve should be off. And I believe that is this. Enunciator panel test. So that is something I'm not sure how to do in this aircraft and is not part of the checklist for the aircraft I fly, so I am going to skip it. In real life, my instructor would give me a guidance on what to do. Fuel selector to both. Fuel shutoff valve is open. The fuel shutoff valve is set to off, which I believe means open. Flaps down. All right. Let's extend our flaps by 1 notch. Okay. Pitot heat, check working. Normally we get out of the aircraft to do this. Pitot heat. Okay, I'm gonna pretend that I feel pitot heat. All right. Pitot heat is back off. All right, battery switch is off. Elevator trim is neutral. Now what I wish I could do is reset elevator trim because let's see. I'm gonna see if there's a control for resetting elevator trim because my physical elevator trim dial has set elevator trim. Okay, I'll just have to deal with it not exactly matching unless I were to restart the flight, but that's fine. Okay, elevator trim is neutral. Okay, that's before starting engine checklist complete. All right, pre-flight inspection is complete. That's outside. All right, seatbelts. Passengers, please fasten your seatbelts and prepare for takeoff. This is not part of my checklist, but electrical equipment is off. I assume that means maybe any electronics. Please put them in airplane mode for our takeoff. Avionics, bus 1 and 2 are off. Fuel selector is both. Fuel shutoff valve remains open. Unless this should be closed. I don't know. I'll have to double check that. So does this mean that the fuel is shut off, or so it's open. Okay, so starting engine checklist. All right, so we will bring throttle to about 1/4 inch. Okay, mixture is to the idle cutoff, so that just means pushing in just a little bit. All right. We'll tick these guys. Clear props. Battery switches on. So we know that our beacons are on. Mixture rich. So this wants to test the auxiliary fuel pump, which I don't know how to do. So I'm going to leave the mixture alone because it does that just for the mixture. My instructor would advise me on what I should be doing, but that's not part of the aircraft I fly. So ignoring that. Feet ready to brake. Feet are ready to brake. Okay. I'll go ahead and brake manually, and then let us start the ignition. The ignition is to start. Okay. Mixture rich when engine starts. So it doesn't sound like it's starting correctly. Does this need to be actually on? Ah, okay. So that actually is opposite of what I thought it meant. Okay. That's not, again, not on my physical airplane. Throttle, my parking brake is still on, so I'm gonna throttle down here. I don't think I can get down to 1000 RPM without killing the engine. on this aircraft. I can try, but it seems very likely I'll just lose the engine if I did that. I'm not even seeing the yeah, I can't lower it any further. So there's no way to get down to 1,000 RPM as far as I know. So I'm just gonna call that checked. Oil pressure, let's take a look at that. Oil pressure seems like it's a little bit low, but not danger zone red. Alternator looks good now that I've stopped attempting to repeatedly restart the engine. Alternator indicator is off. I don't know what that is. That's not part of my aircraft checklist. My instructor would advise me on what I should be doing. Okay. Ammeter check. I assume that has something to do with this. Again, not part of the aircraft that I fly or its checklist. Alright, avionics bus 1 and 2 are on, and avionics are working. Radios are on, those come on with the avionics. I previously checked that they work in this aircraft by tuning Seattle traffic. Transponder to standby. That is not part of my aircraft's checklist, and I'm not sure how to perform this checklist item, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit it. Flaps. We'll put flaps into landing configuration. Oh, apparently I did that before, so yeah, flaps are working. Alright. Heading indicator is set. Let's see. Heading indicator matches our compass. Altimeter I could get from a nearby ATC, but I believe this is set correctly. Attitude indicator looks set correctly. Alright, taxi light as required. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave all those on. So taxi light on, landing light, well, I guess we don't really need a landing light, so we can switch that off. Oh, do I have a physical switch for this? Let's see. Oh, interesting. The fuel pump is not needed for the engine. Okay. I thought I had these bound to the other lights, but I guess I am mistaken. In any case, it must be bound to something because it's not letting me change it. Oh, I see. Landing light. Okay. There we go. I had it on my yoke, not my thrust levers. Okay. So landing light as required. Strobe is on. Navigation lights are on. Parking brake release. Okay, releasing parking brake. This is not on my aircraft, but we'll go ahead and do that. And brakes test, I assume that means we let the aircraft go forward a little bit and then test the brakes are actually able to stop it. Okay, I think that counts as the brakes working. The rudder, normally I'd be able to see out the back of the aircraft. In this particular, well, I guess we can see that the rudder works this way. Normally you can see out the back of the aircraft until at least in my aircraft. So the rudder's working. I don't know how to check that the turn coordinator is working from the ground, so I'll have to, if I was doing this checklist, I would have to ask my instructor for some guidance on that. Heading indicator, check working. I'm gonna have to do this while taxiing, basically, make sure that they are. So let's go ahead and announce taxi. Auburn traffic. Let's see. Auburn traffic. Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra, taxiing to runway 16. Auburn traffic. Or should I end with my how many hours am I at? Hey Tron Diver, I am at 5 flight hours. I am just beginning. Spending more time in the air or on the ground, Chawbanger. On the ground right now. Okay. Compass. Let's check that these work by taxiing to the where we need to go here. What is this doing? They had all of the simulated traffic. Okay, go away. This is not helpful. In fact, I'm gonna turn those off. This is the taxi checklist. You test those things during your first turn. That is helpful, Tron, thank you. Let me turn off those messages. Those are not helpful. They're just getting in the way. I think it's flying tips, maybe, that it's giving me, or aircraft system tips. I'm not sure. Piloting and controls notifications. I'll try that. Anyway, I'll just keep turning things off until I'm not annoyed by what pops up. This is the taxi checklist. Yeah, this checklist is a little bit different from the one in my in the plane that I fly. So I don't have advice from my instructor. So what's going on with this van here? Am I expected to just navigate around it? Like, why is it sitting here? Okay, so to increase engine power, I don't need advice like that, so I need to turn that off. Is it notifications? So aircraft systems, flying tips. Well, flying tips I don't mind, but I don't need control notifications. Alright, I assume this truck shouldn't be here, but that it's stopping because I'm close by or something. I haven't announced my taxi in the game. I'm trying to get pilot to ATC
Sierra
working.
50 traffic, Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 16.
Trying to get pilot to ATC working so that I can get a little bit more. This is uncontrolled airspace, so there is no ATC. I guess I will just have to maneuver around this guy, which is going to be fun. Okay. So, in order to complete our checklist, let's just see. We're at east. So what's our heading? This would be what, 60? See, north is 30, 60 something degrees. My rule of thumb is to test all those turn coordinator, compass, etc. at the first turn into a movement area. Not sure if you've gotten there in your ground training. Yeah, I have not done any ground training yet, just 5 hours of flight. How do I get this damn truck out of the way? But movement is in the area where ATC needs to tell you you can taxi, yeah. Fortunately, I'm flying in an uncontrolled airport, so... okay, the truck just pulled directly inside a building, so I can taxi. Alright. And he pulled back in front of me. What is going on? Just get out of here, truck. Maybe I should turn off the simulated vehicle ground traffic, because Auburn does not have this level of simulated, like, does not have this level of vehicle traffic. Okay, I'm turning this off. Let's see, general options, traffic, road vehicles. Let's just set this to off for right now. Hopefully that makes that thing disappear. Oh, come on. In real life, this would never happen. Worker density, airport vehicle density. Maybe that's what I want to be 0 rather than road vehicles. There we go. That got the truck out of my way. Okay. I don't mind having the vehicles there. It's just that thing's not behaving at all realistically and is completely blocking my taxi, which a real vehicle would not do. So okay, yeah, simulator being dumb. I can't go through them, it'll crash me, at least unless the simulator ignores those vehicles. Let's see. Oof, I kind of like being in VR. I was flying in VR for a while. Now I'm testing to see whether I do better flying not in VR. But did I announce my taxi? I guess I didn't. Okay. Let's see. Tell me if I'm doing this correctly. Do I end with Auburn traffic or my call sign? Auburn traffic. Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra taxiing to runway 16. Okay. And I'll do it in the game.
Sierra 50 traffic, Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 16.
Alright. Let's see if I can taxi my way out of here without colliding with the buildings. Normally we would pull our aircraft out of the hangar and just line it up so that it goes right out to the runway rather than in these weird configurations that are pointing like toward the back. Like this is literally opposite from where you'd want to go as a pilot. I'm gonna do this from the outside just because apparently there's obstacles here. And I'm not the best at taxiing yet, so. Really don't want to strike the wing on these. Oh great. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, I'm just gonna turn the ground traffic, the airport ground traffic off until there's nowhere near this amount of airport vehicle density at this airport. This is a tiny little GA airport. guess I will. Yeah, see, the nice thing about, so it would go Auburn traffic, Skyhawk, Alpha Sierra, X-Ray Golf is taxiing to runway 16 via insert taxi name, taxiway name. There's only one taxiway at this airport though. So if you, let's see, I have Navigraph charts. Let's see if we can pull up. So if there's only one taxiway, do you still, hang on. Let me get Navigraph up. So if there's only one taxiway, do you still need to one second, I have to log into Navigraph and everything. Or I forgot my password. Okay, I got it. Okay, now I need the code. 6 Kilo Sierra 8 November Hotel. And what's M? I forget what M is in. Okay, so this should load in a second. So I would still say it personally. I was in an airport with one taxiway today, uncontrolled, and said it. Let me go check with AIM and see what the FAA thinks. So let me see. How do I get? Whoa! What just happened here? You crashed. Oh, I wasn't flying my aircraft. So wonderful. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, I had my brakes off and I had power still. I should have paused the simulator while I was doing this. So let's see. S50. I would be interested to know actually if it is required or not. So this is, oh, that's not the taxi here. That's the approach graph, right? So I guess it's just always taxiway alpha. But as I recall, I don't hear pilots mentioning the taxiway at this airport because of the fact that there is only one. That said, it can't hurt. One way or another, it's not required from a legal standpoint. You can do whatever you want and say not a word. However, that isn't a very good safety decision. Okay, I'm going to skip the pre-flight inspection since we've done it several times now. And I'm recording a video to send to my instructor, so I'm going to restart that here. I'm not going to go through the full checklist again. Actually, let's get, do we have lighting for our aircraft? It's starting to get a little bit dark inside. Looks like this doesn't have much. Maybe flood lighting? Is this interior flood lighting? It's always at 1%? Okay. What am I doing wrong here? X-axis interact is like not doing anything. Alright, whatever. It is what it is. Okay. Hey there, this is Zephyrus flying out of Auburn, S50 in a Cessna 172. It's a bit different from the airplane we fly. I've already gone through a number of the pre-flight checklists, several times actually. So I'm gonna not show that on video here and just go ahead and get things rolling. Oh yeah, I was supposed to have parking brake out. Well, I did that, huh? But yeah. Okay. Parking brake. Alright, we are ready to taxi. So we'll tune to Auburn traffic. Auburn traffic. Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra taxiing to runway 16 via taxiway Alpha. Am I supposed to end with Auburn traffic or my call sign? Anyway, I'll announce it to the game so that the
Sierra
game
50
like
traffic Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is taxiing to runway 16.
so that the game AIs or whatever react appropriately. So they don't really say departing aircraft should continuously monitor. Actually, let's bring the checklist back up and just skip the. Let's see. We'll do the taxi checklist. So we checked all of this was on, and then it was. Oh yeah, how do we check the turn coordinator on the ground? That is something it's not part of the checklist for the aircraft I fly, and you end with Auburn traffic. Thank you, Tron Diver. How do I test the turn coordinator on the ground? That's not something that's part of my actual aircraft checklist. You check the turn coordinator when you actually turn. Okay. But how do you do that on the ground during taxi? Like, would this bubble even move when I taxi? I guess I'll watch it and check. Yeah, it'll move. Okay. Well, let's see if I can taxi out of here and not manage to collide with hangars. Normally, like I said, we would put the aircraft into position so that it's heading toward the runway, not heading toward the back of the airport. So this is a little bit of a tight taxi for me here. Did I just collide with that light pole on the side? I may have. Okay, I do not want, pulling back the power here, I do not want the whatever that is. Taxi phase. I do not want whatever those notifications are. Where is it? Notifications? Am I missing it? Or is it assistance options? Okay, flying tips is the only thing that seems to be on. Objectives, software tips, okay. Alright, let's see if we can get out of here. Without colliding with things. Okay. So let's see. We do see that our heading indicator is turning as we've made a right turn. Oh, did I put the parking brake on? I think I did. Alright, I don't have a physical toggle for that. I should probably build one. My real aircraft does not have a parking brake, so it's not something I made a priority to build a physical. Alright, let's go aircraft. I'm only applying right brake. There we go. Hopefully this is better. Okay. Now I do have some assistance options on for approach to the airport and stuff like that. So I announced an approach to the south. Let's see. Check for traffic. Looks like we don't have any traffic. Alright. I like being a little bit further back in the cockpit, I think. You've used the parking brake in the real place like 3 times anyway. It's not used. Yeah, my aircraft doesn't even have one. The one that I fly when I'm doing pilot training anyway. What do I fly? A Cessna 172. It is steam gauges like this, although not the same configuration. I like my flight instructor a lot. His philosophy is don't take control over the aircraft. Oop, I just missed the cutoff by not paying attention. And let's get these run up. Parking, okay. Let's finish our checklist here. Is there any traffic behind us? Well, normally they will radio us and tell us to move. If I fly a 172 should have a parking brake. I don't believe they made them without them at any point. Okay, that's interesting. I will double check next time I'm at the craft. It's possible that we just always leave it disengaged, but I don't see it. I did not see it on our checklist, and the checklist that I printed out for Cessna Online mentions it. And the checklist obviously in the cockpit mentions it, and I do not recall seeing this, although I did not look under the yoke for it, so it's possible. But again, it wasn't on the checklist. Like managing or setting or unsetting the parking brake was not on the checklist for the aircraft. Oh, I see. So it's there, but it's not on the checklist. Okay. So parking brake set. All right. Seat backs. Okay, clipping in my annoying seatbelt. Alright. Check secure. Flight controls are free and correct. Not seeing the ailerons move like I normally would, but looks like everything works. Normally I can see that stuff from the cockpit. Flight instruments are set, I suppose. Fuel quantity indicators, we will check again. Those look good. Mixture is rich. Fuel selector is both. Wow, this has us checking things like 3 times. My actual checklist does not have us check things multiple times. Autopilot Engage. I should engage the autopilot in this plane. So I don't... how do I do that? And what does that even mean exactly? Like, press this? Okay. Flight controls, move against AP. What does that mean? Move against the autopilot? I don't know. That doesn't work with the sim. Skip it. Okay. Okay, autopilot off. Throttle set to 18. By the way, it also said set RPM to 1,000. Like, I don't think I could get the engine down to 1,000 in the sim or in real life without the engine cutting out. So I'm gonna skip that as well. Check the magnetos. We'll do that. Okay. I'm doing run up right on the taxiway, but that's fine because there's no traffic. I would normally pull off to the side and do the run up off the side, but okay. Magnetos. There should be a max RPM decrease of 150. Hardly any decrease. Back to both. And now left magneto, very slight decrease. Okay, that's good. So the magnetos are good. Vacuum gauge, check. So what am I... Vacuum gauge is also not something that I have, but it looks to be close to the green zone, so I assume that's fine. Oil pressure looks low, I guess, but within range. Oil temperature looks fine. The ammeter, I don't know how to check that in this aircraft. I always use 1,000 RPM for idle. After my run up, I do an idle check, full throttle out, and if it dies, you have an issue. It should drop to 5,000 RPM and stay alive. So, okay, let's try that. Do I have my mixer set correctly for 1,000 RPM? Because I was pulling the throttle and trying to get the throttle down, and the mixer's at 0. The throttle is at 0, as you see. Sorry for the brakes. The throttle is at 0 and the RPM is still above 5,000. So how could I lower the RPM further on the engine? Or is this just like simulator not being realistic? I mean, I could mess with the mixture and here. Let me first make sure that the controls on my you just want to make sure it doesn't die when throttle goes to 0. Okay. Well, it doesn't die when throttle goes to 0, so. How about checking the ammeter? I don't even see an indicator for that in here. I see amps, which are at 0, which seems good. Although, given that we were drawing down the battery while we were doing run up, or amp is ammeter. Okay. Okay. Enunciator panel is clear, so that's why physical lights. It says anti-ice is engaged. Where is anti-ice on this thing? Oh, we have pedestal lighting. Do we? Pedestal lighting. Okay, let's turn that on. And we have panel lighting. Okay, excellent. Move your flaps up and down. It should move. Yeah, I checked that previously. Oh, not in this flight apparently. So what about the Enunciator panel? Does it show? Okay. Anyway, Engine idle. Check this. Throttle, adjust RPM. Check that before takeoff. Radio's set. We are on the correct frequency for Auburn airspace. Avionics are set. Nav GPS are set. Transponder is on alt. So this is not part of my checklist or something I'm familiar with. My instructor may have been doing it for me. Transponder to alt. Okay. Do I need to give myself a code here? The ammeter should move if I move your flaps. Oh, I see your point. Okay. So if I go like flaps down one more. Ah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're definitely seeing draw on the ammeter. 12,000 is VFR, so just leave it. Okay. This is really helpful advice. Thank you, Tron Diver. It sounds like you're a real pilot and know what you're doing. So this is super helpful. It's almost like you're a flight instructor. do you have a CFI or a CFII? Transponder. Okay. Commercial instrument. Working on my CFI now. Awesome. But yeah, I really like my instructor. He is a philosophy: don't take over the aircraft unless really needed for safety reasons. And so I made my landing before last, and I made my I was coming in for landing on my last landing, and then at like 20 feet over the runway, I was a little bit too fast and not stable. And so I said, your aircraft, and he quickly got us on the ground. But I just, I really appreciated that about him, that he's not going to take it from me. And we were also doing stall, sorry. We're also doing stall practice, and I went into a spinning dive. And the first time that happened, he took control and recovered. The second time it happened, he let me recover from it. And then I asked him why later, and he said, the first time I took control because I hadn't taught you how to do it. And then the second time, I let you see if you could recover from it because you had just seen me recover from it. So anyway, okay, autopilot is off. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. So I don't know if we're supposed to use elevator trim for takeoff. I guess a little bit of elevator trim would be helpful. Maybe? I don't know. Spin is in nose toward the ground spin. Yeah. I'll demonstrate it for you. I'll probably do a stall practice. Flaps, let's make sure our flaps are back where they should be. Yep. Cabin windows closed and locked. Parking brake we will release. And we are ready for a normal takeoff. Flaps are at 10 degrees. Okay, throttle full. Mixture rich. Airspeed indicator, lift nose wheel at 55, huh? I thought it was higher than that. Okay. And then flaps above 300 feet. All right. Airspeed indicator check working. All right. So we'll move this out of the way, but keep it up in case I need it. And I was supposed to turn there, so let's do that. Get in the sky, finally. All right. Interesting. Well, that sounds illegal, so be careful on that story. Why does that sound illegal? I mean, we were practicing stalls. Like, it wasn't like we were deliberately doing this. It was I went into a stall, and then I started dipping like this, and it's not like we were like spinning like a bunch. Like we never went over, we never went past like, I don't know, 60 degrees or something, bank, right? So that's what I mean by spin. Like we were about to go into a spin, but we never did go into a spin. Because he recovered from it and I recovered from it. But you'll probably see what I mean when I practice it. Yeah, we were about to go into a spin, but we both recovered from it. The first time he did, the second time I did. Okay, so all right, we have just finished our checklists for run up to takeoff, and so let's do that and have some fun. All right. .172s can spin and recover just fine, but it's not legal without some modifications. So it's all good. Yeah. Yeah, I was asking my instructor, like, can we fly inverted and stuff? So let's see. I'll hold short here and check for some traffic. I'm not seeing any, and I haven't heard anything over the radio. So,
Sierra 50 traffic, Cessna Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra taking off runway 16 south departure.
Auburn traffic, Alpha Sierra X-ray Golf Sierra taking off departure south. Auburn traffic. All right. This is supposed to be getting live data from planes. I'm surprised that I haven't seen any come in here. Oh, interesting. Is this showing me like the ascent route as well? But those indicators are bothering me. Sorry, I'm gonna turn those off. Getting in the way of my instruments. Navigation aids. I think it's POI also. Like, I'll leave airport markers on, I guess. I messed with some settings before. Alright, where's my airspeed indicator on this plane? I am not used to this configuration, and I'm in the grass. I think I'm at enough airspeed to climb, though. I should have paused the sim there before doing my configuration changes. Okay, let's see, after we get to 300 feet, let's do a nice climb. So is it expecting me to climb to the right for some reason? Is that the like normal pattern for this airport? Seems like a pretty steep turn. This is like the normal pattern or whatnot. Alright, flaps up. Yeah, this is wrong. Well, I set it up for a departure and landing at the same airport. You strongly recommend I don't use this as a training reference? Okay. Alright, I'm just gonna depart from this and do what I would normally do. I'm gonna turn the engine noise down a little bit, or actually, let's see what the headset sounds like. Yeah, that's a bit better. So make sure I have my eyes outside 90% of the time and 10% inside. Yep, that is definitely what my flight instructor says. And I'm trying to do that. It's a little bit harder in the sim. If you come back when I'm in VR, it's a lot better in VR because I can just move my head around. In fact, I have it set up. There's no reason. Let me see if it would even work to switch to VR right now. Arrow key should move around too. Okay, well that's inside the cockpit at least. I also have a hat on my yoke that lets me look around. Let's hide this. So I'm, as long as I stay away from the west, I'm in, I won't be in Bravo airspace, so. Spacebar for me pauses the sim. Let me see what the controls are for moving my head up. Let's see. What category would this be under? Camera, I guess. Cockpit camera. I need to save some cameras that are in good positions for inside the cockpit. So it's control space or F will reset the cockpit view. But how do I like move up and down inside the cockpit? Oh, I see. So it's control, and then all of those things can look. Decrease cockpit height. Yeah, it says up and down. Should do that. Up. Down. Okay, so I guess I'm at the max height for the cockpit. Looks like we have a so this is using live weather. It looks like we have a reasonably low cloud layer today. Move your camera a bit right and then try it again. Okay. No, it's at max. It feels like. But this is about what it's like flying the real plane. Like I can't see that this much over the so let's hide the checklist here. And we don't need the shoot. That's scary. We don't need the Navigraph charts right now. You can see most of the cowling. Yeah. Yeah, I'm only 5'6", so I can see. This is about what I see normally. So let's see. All right. So you're working toward your CFI. Pretend I'm your student. What would you have me do? Why don't we do a let me climb to 3,000 and then see if I can hold that, and then we'll do some maneuvers. All right, so that's 3,000. A little bit abrupt there for me, but I'm losing altitude. Let's see. Okay. So I think we're gonna need some trim to hold this. That's close to right. Maybe just a little bit of nose down trim. Basic maneuvers, then stall, steep turns, and slow flight. Okay. Seems like it's... oh, I probably... because I have my... see, where's my RPMs? Let's get it to cruising speed. That's probably why I'm gaining altitude. Despite not wanting to. Let's get back down to 3,000 feet here. And I'll trim it out again. That's a bit low of an RPM for cruise. I think that's about more like what is a typical cruise altitude. And again, this is live weather, so it's got us trimmed out. All right, that looks good. Okay, ready for some maneuvers. We're gonna do a, my microphone's getting in the way of my ability to see the instruments, some of them. Let me move it a little bit. Okay, hopefully you can hear me still clearly. Okay, and I'm losing altitude, so I think I need some nose up trim. Either that or I just need to adjust my... So I lost some altitude there while dealing with my microphone. Let's gain that back. It's a little bit more steep of an incline. That being said, I don't want to climb into clouds, so I'm going to start my bank here. Huh. The turn coordinator isn't showing that I need any rudder, which is interesting. I guess this doesn't need a little bit. Alright, there's our altitude. And I'll roll out of the bank. Okay. So I think I need a little bit nose up trim. Alright, that feels pretty good. Now I'm starting to descend. I did put my flaps up, right? Yeah, they're up. Okay. Why am I descending so much? Maybe airspeed? Alright, there's our... okay. I think I'm a little bit more trimmed out. I'll keep it simple since you haven't started ground. Yeah, I haven't started ground. As I increase in speed, I'll want to nose up, so you need to trim for that. It wasn't a power issue, just a trim one. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna climb back up to 3,000, so we have a reference point for how much altitude I'll lose while doing maneuvers. Okay. Alright, so now I'm losing altitude despite being nose, like based on instruments and visual at the horizon. I hate to say this because I was told a million times by a CFI and never listened, but I highly recommend you read the FAC and AFM. Yeah, I haven't started any ground training yet, so okay, I'll read those. Are those documents I can just Google for and find easily? Okay, so let's try a steep turn here, and I'll see if I can hold 3,000 while I do it, approximately. Okay. I should get a reference point. Maybe we'll just do a 360-degree turn or something. I'm losing altitude. Let's start it at 3,000 again. Thanks for the links, Tron. Appreciate having you here. Okay. All right, we're at 3,000. All right. Steep bank. A little bit more of a bank than I wanted. Rolling out. Okay. So I maintained my altitude during that, which I think I'm pretty happy with, especially with the low engine power I had there. Why don't we do some stall exercises? We bank away from this stuff, whatever this is over here. All right, so let's see. To stall, I should pull back engine power, pitch up until I stall, and then recover. Is that the correct procedure? Let me get back up to 3,000. Okay. That's a little bit less engine power than cruise. Okay. Here's my attempt at a stall recovery. So we're at 3, a little bit below 3. Let me try to get exactly on 3 so I can measure how much altitude I lose. Okay. Alright, here's my attempt at stall recovery. So I didn't lose too much altitude there. But I did, you can see I did start to go into a spin, so I didn't keep my wings level while I did it. Let's try that again. All right. More rudder and no aileron. Oh, so you're supposed to recover from that with rudder. Okay. Yeah, I didn't use any rudder to recover from that that stall. It was all aileron. I'm gonna have to go in a second. Looks like my daughter, wife, and grandparents have just arrived. So I'll do another. I was hoping to land this, but let's do another stall. Okay, so here we go. To bypass the check ride, you need to keep heading within 10 degrees. Okay, that's good to know. So let's see what our heading is. So here, let's head directly south. Alright, so our heading's at south, and I lost a bunch of altitude going to south because I wasn't paying attention. Let's get up to 3,000 real quick. Okay, here we go. Stall recovery. How about that? Did I do better? I lost about 300 feet, and I kept my heading for the most of the time. I wouldn't say I did no aileron, but way too much pitch up for okay. Alright, let me see if I can land this and say hello to my family. So, see if I can get GPS to help me real quick with getting back to my airport. Going up that high is causing your nose to drop so low, yeah. Okay, so when I do stall recovery in the future, I'll just nose up a little bit less. And here, I'm gonna pause the sim while I help myself get let's see, direct to, let's see. I remember how to use this, I swear. I think I need... Let's see, where is... There we go, okay. That'll give me enough. See if I can land this thing. Ooh, look who's back home. Madison, do you want to watch Dada fly airplanes?
Okay.
No? Daddy will come see you in a second.
No thank you, huh? No thank you.
Aw, she liked flying airplanes before.
There's a bunch of new stuff basically.
Yeah, that's true. I got her some toys. I'll be out in just a second.
Save that for her birthday.
That's true. Yeah, my daughter's birthday's coming up pretty soon. Okay, so I believe so I've not practiced landings a whole lot, and so I turned on the instructional guidance on helping me maintain a good glide slope, and that's what we're seeing in the air over here. So I'm gonna get this on the ground, and then that'll be the end for now. I'd appreciate your advice, Tron, about how I do on the landing. Hopefully I make it. Let's see, I haven't been paying attention to my altitude while I do this. I should probably hold that steady at a certain value, I'm assuming. And airspeed as well. Where's my airspeed indicator? Honestly, okay, there it is. Sorry, I was flying the G1000 for a while. Got used to that, and then coming back to the steam gauge. It's my first flight on the steam gauge for a little bit. So we could bring up the landing checklists. Descent, okay. The sim is a really bad benchmark for training. Yeah, that's what my instructor says. He says basically this simulator is not a good okay, power, we want about 75% of max power. Oh, I'm way over power. Mixture lean for altitude, I haven't learned how to do that yet. I imagine that's covered in ground training. So that's, oh wait, that's cruise. We want descent. Okay, power as desired. Mixture adjust. Altimeter setting check. Nav GPS switch set. What does that mean? Whoa, what just happened? Something weird happened there. It's like my control inputs. Fuel selector both. Am I losing? No? Okay. These all look fine. The nav GPS switch, though, is the only thing that... Is that down here? Okay. Well, we're flying a visual approach, not an instrument approach, so. Yeah, the sim is a really bad benchmark for training. As a training tool, yeah. So I watch a YouTube channel called 7-4 Crew, and it's made by a 747 captain, and he was playing Microsoft Flight Simulator, and he wanted to get over 1 million points in landing, and so he did this ridiculous 747 landing where he did max speed through like the entire descent, and then set it up to like dump all of his airspeed in like the last, I don't know, half kilometer before the runway, and that ended up with him getting over 1 million points. So yeah, obviously especially the simulator modes that give you like a score are not I guess I should call out my position here. So what radio call should I make here? Like north of Auburn, 1 mile, entering pattern for landing. You know him personally. Oh, that's awesome. He seems like a really nice guy that I would have a great time hanging out with if I ever got to meet him. Yeah, I just found out about his channel. So do you work as a professional pilot? Okay. Auburn traffic. Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra, 1 mile north of Auburn. Inbound, full stop, Auburn traffic. How was that? I'm trying to get, are you a big like simulator person? I'm trying to get pilot to ATC set up. Of course that wouldn't matter for this airport, which has no ATC. But I'm trying to get pilot to ATC set up, and then also maybe get on the one of those I forget the name of it right now. I'd have to look it up, but they provide like air traffic control by real humans. You have 3,000 hours in various flight sims. Yeah, I have thousands of hours as well, but most of it was when I was much younger, and just fooling around and not actually pursuing a pilot's license. So it didn't really like it gave me an intuitive understanding of like aerodynamics and stuff, but not a set of useful skills for like navigating or using air traffic control or anything. You're a professional, not quite employed in aviation, but working on it. Yeah. Well, if you get a CFI, and you start training students, then you're a professional. If you wanna, you'll be training students in about a month. Do you wanna ever spend time training students in a VR or in a simulator? I would be happy to pay for your time. I know simulators are not as good as being in the real airplane. The problem is I live in Seattle, where weather and light mean, and I have a full-time job, mean that my amount of flight time that I can get, put flaps down to 10 degrees, the amount of flight time that I can get is limited. I just passed my AME, thinking of buying an airplane potentially. So if you would be willing to get on Discord with me and do things like give me the same in-flight instruction you give your students. There's actually a mod for this game where you can be in the cockpit with me, although it's not necessary like it would be in real life for safety. Yeah, I was only doing the checklist because I hadn't done it before, and I thought I'd see what the checklists were like. I normally don't run the checklist in the sim. I just and in fact, normally I just start on the runway. I thought I would see what it's like. All right, so how can I dump some airspeed here? Any training in the sim is going to do more harm than good. I don't think you can do more harm than good. Like, I can learn things like how to do radio calls correctly, for example, right? With real, like, you can hire, like, there's websites where you can hire or participate in. Oh gosh, I'm not lined up well for this. I'm gonna pause the sim for a second and see if I can get my seat up a little bit. Nope, not really. Gosh, it's gonna be one of those bad landings. This would be a go around, but I'm just gonna land it because I don't have time in real life. Yeah, I have to go around this. The stream is frozen. Yeah, oh yeah, it is really like freezing like crazy. And it's also like messed up in that it's like not on the screen properly. Jeez. Okay. Is that better as far as like stream quality? Yeah, I'd be happy to add you on Discord. Okay, so I obviously didn't land that. Let's see if I can do like a quick S-turn real fast. Come in the other direction. I'm gonna go flaps 20 degrees. Be floating a little bit here. Alright, how was that? Was that terrible? I mean, obviously it was terrible in a number of dimensions, but how was that? Ooh, bad turn there. Auburn traffic. Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra is clear of runway. Auburn traffic. Airspeed management needs a lot of work, but you landed on the runway with good vertical speed and did not die. Yeah, the airspeed management has been my constant issue coming in. And let's just say this is my hangar. This is actually approximately where our hangar is. Oh hey, here's the dude. The dude from the beginning. Although maybe it's a different dude. Hey, look at this. At Auburn Municipal Airport, they have guys with cones telling me I guess he wants me over a little bit. Telling me to go left. I've never interacted with these guys with cones before, but I can assume what he wants me to do. I would not want to stand in front of a... Okay. Alright. That's a successful flight. Well, I gotta end my stream. Thank you so much for following. I really appreciate the help. Tron, if you want to whisper me and share, let me get my, hang on one second, let me get my actual Twitch up so I can see whispers, because I can't from where I am right now. Let's see, it is... get my actual Twitch up. Get on my own stream. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you feel like, I mean, I know a lot of instructors feel like simulator training is, oops, listening to myself in my own stream. A lot of simulator, or a lot of instructors feel like simulator is counterproductive, but the reality is I can spend many more hours per week in a simulator practicing certain things than I can actually fly, especially heading into winter where there's so little light that I can only, with a full-time job, I can only fly on the weekends. And so I'll try to get my ground lessons done during that time. But if you're willing, I'd be happy to pay you for your time as a flight instructor at your regular rate. What we do is we would get on a screen share in Discord so you wouldn't have the delay. We could be on audio with each other. There's also a mod. If you own the game, you can be in the cockpit. Any maneuvers are going to be counterproductive. Okay. It's that different, you think? I mean, I've flown the aircraft and I've flown it in this, and obviously I don't get the feedback that I get from the flight surfaces, but with the honeycomb yoke and the thrust levers and everything, like, it feels similar to the aircraft absent all of the feedback I'd normally be getting. Basic principles of flight we can work through. One thing that could be helpful maybe is helping me navigate and work with ATC and like plotting courses to get to like further away airports, reading aircraft charts and things like that would be something I'd be happy to pay an instructor to help me with. Learning how to use that, because all I've been doing so far is just like flying in and out of this uncontrolled airspace and not interacting with ATC. So if you could do something like, for example, roleplay ATC as I get clearance to enter Bravo airspace and land at KBFI Boeing, right? And then roleplay ATC as I get instructions to taxi, I don't know, loop through a taxiway and take off again. Those are all things, yeah. Happy to do maneuvers. I wouldn't expect to see an improvement or be disappointed if there isn't one. You mean an improvement when I get back into the real aircraft? Hopefully I would improve in the sim. And I'm hoping that speed management in the sim, like landings, would also help me when I get back into the aircraft. Because the aerodynamics feel pretty true to life. It's just the lack of feedback, right, on the yoke and everything. So being able to fly like a proper descent into a runway and things like that. But anyway, I gotta go. My family's just gotten here. It's been a great pleasure talking to you. It's a logic type thing that would help in the real plane. Okay. Yeah, anything we could do that will help in the real plane, I think would be great. So I will send you a friend request on Discord right now, actually. And well, actually, I'll do that in a little bit. I gotta end my stream and say hi to my family. So thank you so much for watching and for giving me your feedback while I fly. I really appreciate it. This is supposed to play in order, not randomly.
It's so hard when people knock you.
But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will reach out to you on Discord and see. Yeah. Have a good rest of your weekend as well, Tron. And I really, really, really appreciate your advice as a pilot while I'm learning. Thanks a bunch. Have a great rest of your weekend. This is Zephyrus signing off. Have a good one.